everyone. This is Monday, February 13th. I'm Perushka Gopal-Kista. Right now in Ottawa, mostly cloudy skies. 3 degrees, it's 6 in Smith Falls. Here's what's making news right now.
A major explosion this morning in Orleans at a construction site. 4 vacant homes destroyed, 5 people taken to hospital, 2 rescued from the rubble.
While Canada has announced over $18.5 million in funding to build 48 affordable housing units in Ottawa, Minister of Housing, Diversity and Inclusion says the federal government will be a long-term funding partner for affordable housing in the capital.
Canada is now searching for the debris of flying objects both in Lake Huron and in Yukon. The Prime Minister says there's obviously a pattern here.
The Sens and Flames drop the puck at Canadian Tire Centre tonight. Ottawa making 3 lineup changes, and the Blue Jays open up camp in Dunedin. Sports 45.
Stocks are moving up, and according to a new report, it looks like the sales of Valentine's Day items in Canada will be down this year. Business at 56.
City News time, 3:31. Now City News traffic and weather together. Here's Jamie Montgomery.
Good afternoon. We've got volume delays right now on the Queensway westbound from Metcalfe to Woodruff. Eastbound on the 174 approaching Jean d'Arc. We got northbound Island Park delays approaching the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway. Some slight delays right now eastbound on Hunt Club at Prince of Wales. A collision is causing a lot of delays right now on the Queensway westbound at Metcalfe. And left shoulder in the left lane are closed. Tank line closed between Harvest Valley Avenue and Wall Road following an early morning gas leak and explosion in the new housing development in Orleans. All winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive from common winter capability. Visit your Subaru dealer. With the forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriacci.
Varying amounts of sun and cloud this afternoon, but we do have the chance of a few scattered flurries this evening and overnight. Partly cloudy before morning. Sun and cloud for Tuesday. Highs here +4 down to -2 for Tuesday night. And some rain in the forecast with very mild temperatures Wednesday, feeling like spring near 8 degrees. Guaranteed high today, 2.
And right now in Ottawa, mostly cloudy skies. 3 degrees, it's 6 in Smith Falls. City News time, 3:32. And breaking news from Orleans, where officials gave us an update on this morning's massive explosion. They're confirming that everyone has now been accounted for and that it's not yet been safe enough to turn off a gas leak at the site of the explosion. This morning's blast rocked the East End and injured 12 people. City News reporter Chris Curries joins us with more.
4 new homes under construction in Orleans have been destroyed this morning. An enormous blast hit the East End and it sounded like this. The explosion took place at Blossom Pass Terrace, which is off 10th line south of Brian Coburn, and has been attributed to a gas leak. 2 people were trapped under the wreckage. 1 was rescued after about an hour, while another was rescued after over 3 hours. Reed Purdy with the Ottawa Paramedic Service on the injuries.
2 people originally trapped from the original blast site. Both have been extricated in serious but stable condition. We've transported 3 other patients with minor injuries.
Local councillor Catherine Kitts was on scene this morning and said the Red Cross and Salvation Army are there to assist and that this could have been much, much worse.
Given how intense the blast was, thankfully it seems at this time nobody has been killed. Very few injuries again, considering the gravity of the blast. So just a real miracle, to be honest. The fact that it happened so early in the morning. Perhaps there weren't as many workers on site as there could have been.
A statement from Minto, where the explosion happened, said they are investigating the cause of the gas leak. Chris Curry, City News.
And thousands of Orleans residents were jolted awake by this morning's explosion. Those closest to the site were confused and trying to figure out what happened this morning.
It felt like something blew up inside our house, so we suddenly woke up. Went downstairs, our window frames fell down, our windows popped open.
Seems like it was one of those propane tanks
that like a heating in one of the new build homes.
And then we came out and we saw a little bit of smoke, but there was no fire anywhere, so we couldn't figure it out what the issue was.
Now, the explosion happened in a Minto subdivision, and the company says it's opened its model homes to keep residents warm and comfortable while their homes are evacuated. Minto says its staff are working with authorities to identify the cause of the explosion and will fully cooperate in the investigation. City News Time, 3:37. If you're heading downtown tomorrow, expect possible traffic disruptions along Highway 417 and in the downtown core. The city says this is because of a possibility of convoy activity tomorrow. Special parking restrictions already enforced, and that comes into effect tomorrow at 6 a.m. But in the meantime, increased police presence is expected from time to time in the downtown core. The city says no traffic detours are in place and transit is not expected to be impacted. Now, speaking of transit, we've had full LRT service over this past weekend, but it didn't come without its disruptions, and it wasn't weather related this time. A memo from the transit boss, Renee Amilcar, says a power wire in the overhead catenary system broke near Lee's station. Trains were able to come to a safe stop at the station, but R1 bus service was in place for about an hour, and the issue was then fixed overnight. Now, later this week, the first meeting of the city's newly created light rail subcommittee will discuss a motion that suggests giving council more authority over the terms of the project agreement for Stage 1. Now, Canada announcing a rapid funding initiative for housing in the capital, and the project set to be complete by next year. Here's City's Andrea Bennett with more.
Canada has announced over $18.5 million in funding to build 48 affordable housing units in Ottawa as a part of the third round of the Rapid Housing Initiative. Ahmed Hussein is Minister of Housing, Diversity and Inclusion. He says 3 rounds of the program means construction of over 14,500 affordable housing units across Canada.
The City of Ottawa has made really good use of this program to build deeply affordable, rapidly built housing. And this is just the city stream. The project stream of the Rapid Housing Initiative third round is still available for nonprofits in Ottawa to apply.
Hussein tells City News while the federal government will be a consistent funding partner for affordable housing in Ottawa, they're needing partners across all levels of government, adding the federal government can't do it alone. He says they're also working with municipal leaders and nonprofits to provide not only housing but services like mental health and addiction support. Andrea Bennett, City News.
City News Time, 3:38. The Prime Minister is in Yukon today as the search continues to recover the wreckage of the flying object shot down over the territory this weekend. City News Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with the latest.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says there's obviously a pattern to the flying objects that have been violating North American airspace in recent days, and it's a cause of interest for both Canada and the U.S., but he didn't elaborate on if there's more to the pattern than just balloons flying into our air.
Our focus right now is on recovering it. Obviously, there is much analysis going on at the highest levels of NORAD in both Canada and the United States to try and understand more.
He says the search for debris is a bit of a challenge because of heavy snow in the area, and the debris is believed to have fallen between Dawson City and Mayo. That's a stretch of about 230 kilometers. On Saturday, the Minister of Defense said the object in Canada is potentially similar to the Chinese spy balloon that was destroyed off the North Carolina coast over a week ago. There was also an object shot down off the coast of Alaska Friday, and yesterday one shot down over Lake Huron. Now, John Kirby with the U.S. National Security Council says that one over the Great Lakes has also fallen on the Canadian side of the lake, and our authorities are assisting.
In concert with the U.S. Coast Guard, but they are also involved in trying to locate the debris right now.
And in case you were wondering, Kirby says there's no indication to suggest some of these flying objects are extraterrestrial. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
And to Toronto now, where the city's mayor, who recently announced plans to resign after an affair with a former staffer, is committed to finishing the city's budget process. John Tory remaining the mayor of Toronto 3 days after he announced plans to resign on Friday. Now, as of this morning, the city of Toronto confirming that Tory had not submitted a letter of resignation, and his office has not answered questions about the timing of his departure. Now, coming up in 1 minute, traffic and weather together, and we'll check gas prices next. City News Time, 3:40.
This is City News
on 101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
Please be advised, if you find winter driving distressing, the following is a real audio clip of a Subaru driving on an unplowed mountain pass in the Yukon in minus 23-degree conditions. Just listen to Subaru's standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive go to work on all that ice and snow. And that sound is our confident driver whistling Beethoven's Fifth, I believe. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon winter capability.
Cognitive behavioral therapy is a short-term psychological treatment. It's been shown to be effective at reducing mental health symptoms by addressing difficult thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This treatment could be helpful for anxiety, depression, and obsessive-compulsive symptoms. The CBT Clinic at the Center for Interpersonal Relationships offers leading-edge evidence-based strategies and solutions aimed at improving your mental health. To learn more about online or in-person CBT therapists, visit cfir.ca.
Now, the City News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price of gas will hold at midnight, remaining at $1.45.9 a litre at most Ottawa stations tomorrow. City News Time, it's 3:42. Now a check on traffic and weather. Here's Jamie Montgomery.
Good afternoon. That collision that we had on the 417 westbound at Maitland looks to be clear now. Just dealing with a lot of volume delays due to that westbound on the Queensway from Metcalf all the way down to Pinecrest. Very heavy in those directions. We have eastbound delays on the Queensway at Rochester, eastbound on the 174 from Blair to Jean d'Arc. We've got northbound Island Park delays approaching the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway, and eastbound Hunt Club at Prince of Wales. 10th line is still closed between Harvest Valley Avenue and Wall Road due to an early morning gas leak and explosion in Orleans and a new housing development. Make the right call on your drive and the right call on your bets. Play on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only. With the forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriacci.
Partly cloudy for the rest of this afternoon, but we do have the chance of a few scattered flurries, a guaranteed high of +2. We have sun and cloud in the forecast near 4 degrees for Tuesday, and some rain and possible mixing Wednesday. For the most part, we're going to be in the rain zone. Temperatures very mild with this latest spring system that will impact the province. Highs near 8 degrees for Ottawa by Wednesday. The guaranteed high today, 2 degrees.
And right now in Ottawa, 3 degrees, mostly cloudy. It's 6 in Smiths Falls. Now the City News market updates from the business center. Here's Phil Martino.
Stocks are rising on Wall Street ahead of that inflation data. The Dow is up by 344 to 34,213. The S&P up by 38 to 4,128. The Nasdaq up 166 points to 11,884. On Bay Street, the TSX is up 94 points to 20,706. Gold is down $12.34 to $1,853. Oil is down 46 cents to $79.26 a barrel. And the Canadian dollar is up 4/100 to 74.98 cents US. I'm Phil Martino, and that's your Market Minute.
The City News Ottawa Market Minute is brought to you by Dynamic Funds.
Concerned about the risk of inflation? A financial advisor can help. See why advice matters. Now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
The news cycle these days can be too much.
Cases are up more than 25%. Asking up endorsement to LGBTQ plus
Let us help with that. I'm Jordan Heath Rawlings, host of The Big Story, Canada's most interesting daily news podcast. Every day, we stop that cycle in its tracks and examine one big story, something that matters to Canadians in depth. You can find The Big Story every morning for free at Frequency Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcasts.
Find lifestyle inspiration at every turn. Appliance Canada is the place to begin. We want you to think about luxury appliances in a whole new way. With brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Call, click, or connect with us online today. Appliance Canada. For your home. For your life. Commence streaming today at appliancecanada.com/lifestyles.
Number one for local news in Ottawa and the Valley. This is City News on 101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
It's 3 degrees right now, mostly cloudy skies in Ottawa. Good afternoon. I'm Pirushka Gopal-Kista. Here's what's making news right now. 12 people injured in a gas leak explosion in the city's East End earlier today. Officials confirming everyone has now been accounted for, but it's not yet been safe enough to turn off a gas leak at the site of the explosion. The Red Cross and Salvation Army are also helping those affected. If you're heading downtown tomorrow, expect possible traffic disruptions along Highway 417 and in the downtown core. The city says this is because of the possibility of convoy activity and special parking restrictions also enforced, that coming into effect tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. It's time now for City News Sports from Sportsnet. Here's Alex 6-0.
Well, Matt Silgard is hoping to seize the opportunity with the Sens' top two goaltenders down injured.
Oh, he's just going to do what he does. Don't think anything past that. Just do everything he does well. The goalie coaches have worked with him on, and again, just don't over prep for this. Just do what you do.
And there's head coach DJ Smith. Sens and Flames face off at Canadian Tire Centre tonight, where Silgard starts in goal. Anton Forsberg is out 2 to 3 months with MCL tears to both knees. He will not require surgery. You can see the game nationally on Sportsnet starting at 7:30. Meanwhile, trade talks continue for Arizona's Jacob Chychrun. The team says he will not play tonight in Nashville and is out all week. It is one of 5 around the NHL. Well, a lot of action around Dunedin as Blue Jays camp has kicked off, and Bo Bichette is hoping for a different outcome this year.
Well, I mean, I think we're capable of being one of the best teams in the league. I've said it before, and I think we've shown that. But there's another step to take. We've kind of grown up now. We've gone through all the ups and downs, and so I think, this is a year that we have a lot to prove.
Jays pitchers and catchers officially report on Thursday. Raptors get the night off after last night's win over Detroit. They'll host Orlando tomorrow. Gary Trent and Precious Achiuwa did not practice with injuries today. They're questionable. OG Anunoby remains out. From the Sports Center, I'm Alex Sixero.
Attention business owners. You can advertise in the NHL playoffs and Blue Jays games and reach local customers only with Sportsnet Now. Hi, I'm Nathan Martin, digital sales strategist with Rogers Sports and Media in Ottawa. Rogers has one of the largest and most robust digital networks in Canada, and we offer the option of fully managed services if you prefer personal assistance. To find out more, email advertising@ottawa.citynews.ca.
Stay cozy this winter at the National Gallery of Canada with free activities for everyone. Swing by on Thursdays from 5 to 8 to enjoy a live DJ playing awesome music, seasonal cocktails, festive food, and mini art tours. And the best part is admission is free. See the exhibition, movement, expressive bodies, and art, and explore new-to-you spaces and artworks. The gallery is your destination for a fun night out, not to mention the perfect date night. Plan your epic visit at gallery.ca.
You're with City News. I'm Scott Burnett. A leading rights group has urged the U.S. and Libya to explain the legal basis of a surprise extradition of a former Libyan intelligence officer who is accused of making the bomb that exploded on Pan Am Flight 103 over at Lockerbie, Scotland.
U.S. authorities simply announced in December that they had arrested Abu Masoud. Human Rights Watch says it appears no Libyan court ordered or reviewed his transfer to the U.S., and he had no chance to appeal, raising serious due process concerns. Masoud was picked up from his home in Tripoli in a district controlled by a network of militias. Libya's public prosecutor's office has challenged the move and has opened an investigation. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Russia's ambassador in Ottawa says Canada is a very dangerous country for Russians to visit. Oleg Stepanov says Canada keeps sanctioning people and claimed that Russians are regularly experiencing racism.
In a Russian-language interview last Friday, Stepanov said, quote, "I would not recommend visiting Canada for tourism, education, or business," end quote. However, he added that most Canadians treat Russians well, as Moscow's travel advisory for Canada only warns of the street gangs and a rather harsh climate. Meantime, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warns the alliance's ammunition stock are running low because of Russia's war on Ukraine.
The current rate of Ukraine's ammunition expenditure is many times higher than our current rate of production.
Stoltenberg urges Ukraine's Western allies to ramp up their military support in the face of a new Moscow military push.
The Russians are willing to send in those forces and take a high number of casualties. So for me, this just highlights the importance of timing. It's urgent to provide Ukraine with more weapons.
Stoltenberg adds NATO sees no sign whatsoever that President Putin is preparing for peace. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Traffic and weather together next.
Now is the time to stream all the sports that you can handle with a new Sportsnet Now Premium 6-month pass. Get thousands of NBA and out-of-market NHL games, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and more all in one spot. And with Blue Jays baseball in sight, now is the time to score the best value deal available. The Sportsnet Now Premium 6-month pass. Subscribe today at snnow.ca. Available for a limited time only.
This is premium stuff.
Hi, I'm Brian Berlot, CEO at Maxis Staffing and Recruitment. Are you currently seeking temporary or permanent employment? Maxis can assist you in landing the perfect position today. Profession, IT, administration, call center, assembly or trades, get the job you want. Visit maxis.ca, maxsys.ca.
Maxis has helped over 100,000 people get jobs. Let them help you. Get started today. Visit maxis.ca.
Traffic for Subaru. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon award-winning safety, visit your Subaru dealer.
Everyone is accounted for and no one has died.
I'm Jamie Montgomery with City News Traffic. We've got westbound delays right now on the Queensway from Nicholas to Pinecrest. Eastbound right now on the Queensway at Rochester. We have eastbound delays on the 174 from the split to Jean d'Arc. We get northbound Island Park delays right now from Scott Street to the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway. Eastbound delays on Hunt Club at Prince of Wales. And 10th line is closed between Harvest Valley Avenue and Wall Road following an early morning gas leak and explosion in a new housing development in Orleans. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon winter capability, visit your Subaru dealer. With the forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriacci.
Some scattered flurries possible this evening for Ottawa and Smiths Falls. Temperatures not too bad though, so if we actually see some scattered showers, would not be surprised. We have trended above seasonal today, and we will for the rest of the week pretty much. Tomorrow's high near +4 with sun and cloud in the forecast, and then rainy and windy for Wednesday. Some possible mixing, but very mild. Highs near 8. The overnight low tonight -2.
We've got the best news. Ottawa and the Valley. Welcome, City News. Everywhere.
Now available weekends and overnights.
Local, national, international. You never have to miss a thing. We're bringing you news from coast to coast to coast.
Weeknights starting at 10 and all weekend long.
When news breaks, you'll hear about it here. City News. Everywhere. Now, weekends and overnights on City News.
101.1 FM
at 1310 AM.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzog Eye Institute.